So the next question I'd like to ask you, the few hot favorite questions everyone is talking, thinking or researching these days is one, what is your view on AVMs in India, and should the system, I know the Supreme Court has given their own verdict and all that, but you all know better, you know much more than we all know, and I would like your insights on this to the people.
Well, you have so many other questions, so we'll be brief and pointed,
Yes.
but I have a slightly different take on EVM issue than possibly the various political parties for
Sure.
whom I appear and I represent.
Sure.
I think the EVM does raise a major issue, but that controversy, the ship has sailed. The ship sailed even before 2014.
Okay.
But in 2019, we had a large group where I was the main convener, and it was headed by Chandrababu Naidu. And we went across the country. The last time a major initiative against the EVM was taken was that.
After that,
the ship has completely sailed.
nobody bothered.
No, because why I say? Because I think today, if we keep on insisting on per se EVM, we are actually conveying the image of a graceless loser
Okay.
to the voter.
Okay.
See, politics is also the art of perception.
Yes.
It's all about perception.
Yes.
I believe that there is something in the allegation against EVM. But my problem is we have, for right or wrong, good or bad, not been able to demonstrate with a live thing, like in your camera in front of the table, why it is interferable. Once you fail to do it for the last 10 years, a per se argument on EVM is counterproductive politically. It makes the voter think that you're a graceless loser, and it doesn't get you any benefit. That's point one. Point two, that does not mean that you should not do a lot of other reform about EVM. One reform, that you must increase the sample check. If you do 5%, that 5% was increased from a fractional percentage to 5% in a matter which I argued in 2019. You should possibly increase it to close to 50% now.
Okay.
That will increase the index of assurance. So within the EVM system, no abolition, but within the EVM. Third, you must make reforms in the paper trail
Yes.
system, preserving it longer, checking it larger. So what does it matter if in a 2-month election, it
Yes.
takes 2 or 3 extra days?
Yes.
Don't count all, let's say count 33%.
Yes.
I'm giving examples only. These are much better arguments, both perception-wise, politically and legally. Unfortunately, we tend to fall back into our old groove and say either abolish EVM or have EVM.
Just find a
That binary argument doesn't work anymore with the electorate.
Yeah.
That's my view.
So a grey area somewhere in between.
All the deficiencies,
Yes.
reform them.
So these 4-5 deficiencies you feel we could work on and focus on those, that you can find something midway.
Absolutely.
So nobody can say, oh, you won this election, this because of this, or you lost this, and the blame game starts, basically.
Correct.
So to be more articulate and to continue the fight. Not that just have the fight at the time of where the elections are coming, all the sides.
On the reform of the deficiencies and
Yes.
elimination of the deficiencies.
So should this be made a law?
This has to be a change in law or a change in the rules and regulations.
Yes.
All these demands count more, have a greater light, better light, make the sample check not 5% but 50%. All these needs change in regulation.
You are of course one of the most respected legals in this country, and I'm sure the other side also, who doesn't agree with this view, has to respect what you say, and they know if you're saying it, there is some logic, sense, and something.
Plus, it's a more nuanced view.
Yes.
It's not a either or.
Either or.
Not a
Yes.
binary black
Yes.
and white.
Yes.
It's not a keep it or throw it out view.
But do they
So
know
it's a more
about this
reasonable-
view?
I have said so. I've said so many programs like yours.
Okay, you have.
But I'm not the government, so I can't
Yes,
do anything about
yes,
it. But
yes.
yes, of course I have.
But that's
My view is even been told to various parties who may not agree with it. Many parties have the view that it should be either there
Either
or
or.
out.
Yes.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, so somewhere in between. But I think that should suit everybody, and if that's something which is not being taken forward, and then something to think about.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if you are being one of the spokespersons of the Congress saying that you're ready, you personally, let me rephrase it, are ready to come somewhere in between, or you feel that way, then I think somebody should respect that side of it and even make it work.
There is a growing feeling that that is a better way and a better view.
But then it should be executed. Because not that another election comes and it's the same thing as when...
That's right.
Yeah.
So we must start immediately after this election
Yes.
on that campaign. It's too late now to do it this time.
Okay. And what is your view on One Nation, One Post?
See, One Nation, One Post is actually a very, very nice sounding.
Yeah.
It's like mother's milk.
It's a cute tagline.
It's like mother's milk. You can't object to it. It's very nice. It fits into our sense of discipline. It fits into our sense of proportion, uniformity, organization, everything spick and span is place.
Yeah.
My problem is that I would have no problem with this if it's workable.
If it's
Don't create something which you know will not work in advance. You know that. You will tinker with the constitution. See, the first time you will have that one nation, one thing will be when you synchronize everything 6 months later to today's date. Or you postpone everything now to the next date. Actually, you can't do the second because you have to have the government by this date. So you can do the prepone.
Yes.
The second change you'll have to do the mid-cycle after half term.
Half term.
Right? It's like reset button. You press a reset button. Let's say you do it. First of all, of course, you have to have 2/3 and 3/4 majority. All the states have to agree. I'm assuming that's a big task in itself. I don't think anybody is agreeing. So that's point one.
That's why
but
it's
let's
like
assume that you get that. After that, what happens? When Anjaleka loses her majority, you are X state. All these MLAs in the room turn against
I think
you.
you
fall down.
Also. Yes.
So if you fall down, the rule is no. Despite losing the majority of all these people, you shall continue to the next election.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that a negation of democracy?
Not at all.
Is it a affirmation of democracy? It's obviously a negation of democracy.
Yes.
Therefore, these are the nitty-gritty. You'll find these people never go into the nitty-gritty.
Yes.
Then equally, you have so many other problems. You have the logistics of doing national, state and panchayat elections. Because once you have this one nation, you come down to the bottom third line also very soon.
Yes.
Gigantic. Yes, you can arrange some clusters. I mean, I don't agree with the fact that you must have an election every 2 months in the country. I agree with the comment till there. So you can have some clusters.
But we don't have elections.
If you make a rigid rule that there shall be only one election every 5 years, it's anti-democratic.
And it doesn't help anybody, frankly. It may seem it doesn't work.
And you have to remember that you pay a democracy tax. You pay a price. You pay a democracy price. China doesn't pay it.
Yes.
China can do what you are saying.
Yes.
You can't do it. The chaos and the cacophony of democracy is sometimes the definition of democracy.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Then there's also everybody is nowadays. As you know, we are in election season right now, and what do you feel of this famous mantra 400 par? Is it just a mind game, or is it just keeping a goal so that you motivate people?
Even mind games have to be realistic.
Yes.
Because if the mind games don't succeed, then you fall flat.
Yes.
Let me give you the best example. Hardly 2 years ago, you saw a similar mind game. Repeatedly, the Honorable Home Minister and the Prime Minister said 250 plus in Bengal. I think you're forgetting. In West Bengal, it was 250 plus.
Yes.
Nobody whimpered after they got only 70.
Yes.
Nobody whimpered.
Yeah.
So these are war cries. These are, as you say, mind games. But you can't do a mind game and a war cry thinking that people in this room are eating grass.
Yeah, but also, they made a whole campaign out of 400 par.
So right.
Yeah.
So this is a typical BJP habit.
Yes.
Overstate.
Yes.
But they don't realize they actually did a good performance in West Bengal look horrible.
Yeah, by doing this over. Yes, that's true. That's very true.
So I don't think there's nothing. And where is the statistic for it?
Yes.
400 par. Where is the figure? Where is the survey for that? Which survey, even with the BJP sympathetic survey, has said so?
And you know what, again, sorry to come back to the earlier point, some of the media channels and the sophologists actually said around 3-4 months back that yes, they may get 350, 370. So they were same towing the line. That's where the mistake is coming.
We discussed both in media, and I think you have to.
We should, yes.
There are some good sophologists out there.
Yes.
There are some independent ones also who are concerned about the reputation.
Yes.
But by and large, before the channel carries the survey, you know what it's going to say.
Yeah. So
I know if channel X is carrying a survey, I know the timing, I know the purpose, I know the object is to make sure you've got a command from you that please carry my survey and project me in the best light. That's how it's run.
So
it's very sad.
That's
It's very sad, but it's true.
Recently, you had your Rajya Sabha election from Himachal, and everybody was in fact shocked. Forget, it's not about you being shocked. Everybody was, because it was a sure shot. What do you think went behind the scenes that went wrong?
It was
behind the scenes.
Shock has to be accompanied with sad.
Yes, shocked and sad.
I'll tell you why. I'm not sad for myself.
Yes.
God willing, with the
No, you'll be back.
with the goodwill and the support I have,
Yes.
I don't think I'm going to be away for too long.
Yes.
However much my friends or enemies, as the case may be, may want it that way. The real point is why it's sad, why it's shocking. It is sad and shocking, both, and I have no hesitation in saying so, that a Congress-ruled state with a majority of 9 odd, I mean actually 15, it is the majority,
Yeah,
March 15,
yes, at that time.
had this movement
Yes.
under the nose. So that is sad. For the Congress is also sad. Let's not mince words.
Yes.
But it tells you two things, Anjaleka, which is important for our democracy. Your desperation, your micromanagement, your control freakism to control everything on this table across India
That's ridiculous.
means that this, you think this 9 moved because of love for you, because of ideology for you,
Yes.
because of sudden newfound commitment to you.
Yes.
They moved because of one special vitamin which you don't get in the market. It's called vitamin M.
Yes.
Now, you have vitamin M, is no reason why you should start distributing vitamin M to come and vote for Anjaleka.
Yes.
I know that you have it in large quantities.
Yeah.
And we also know that the opposition doesn't have it.
Yes.
So it's a very sad reflection on the ruling party. It's a sad reflection on the defectors.
So
It's a sad reflection on our system.
that's
And it makes a mockery. I mean, I always say that the Ayalal and the Gayalal would be turning over in the grave. They never saw it. The one fellow did 2 defections in a day and he got the name Ayalal in 1967.
Yes.
He could not imagine the sophistication.
yeah.
Each of these 9 met us, sat with us, swore loyalty,
Yes.
commitment, from dinners to the breakfast that morning before voting. There has to be some shame, some standards, some ethics in politics.
Yes. That's just going.
What is so great about, there's some...
That's right.
And I'm not saying it here, we know the going rate. We know the going rate.
Yes.
It's very sad, it's shocking.
But when there's such a clean party, where do they get the money from?
Why?
For the going rate for vitamin M. As you write, I love the word vitamin.
Vitamin
It's
Vitamin M they have in a proportion of 1:10. If you add all the parties in India together and multiply by 10, that is the quantity of vitamin which the ruling party
But they're the
has.
cleanest government in the history of India.
I beg to differ. There is institutionalized lack of cleanliness and there is non-institutionalized lack of cleanliness.
I just realized.
It's only
Sorry
that the
to
washer...
interrupt. A new talent. You're really witty. Vitamin M was really cool.
No, I'm adding another one. The reason why you call them the cleanest government in India is because you only see that laundry factory, not the washing machine. The laundry factory in the room.
Okay.
A laundry factory will make everything sparkle. You spill all the coffee you want on this, I'll make it sparkle.
That's true.
So that's what's happening.
So vitamin
Whereas
M
the
and
vitamin M and laundry
vitamin double
factory.
N, the media.
Yeah. Media, of course, is only projection, but the real washing can happen. Why? Because there's a third thing. The vitamin A. Agencies are with you. So
Wow.
I can paint you black because I have got all the agencies. Never in the history of India have the agencies been weaponized
Yeah.
as they have in this tenure. Never. More even than the first tenure.
Yes.
Now that's a fact of life.
Yeah.
You can't help it. You can't change it. And yes, it's very easy to say, okay, Anjaleka, if you are innocent, you go through the law will acquit you. It's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And in 90% cases, the law does leave you off. But the process is the punishment, is the small little sentence they don't tell you.
Yes.
The idea is to punish you through the process. I know for a fact in advance that you're going to get off.
Yes, that's true.
That's it. So,
And of course, you fought another very famous case for Uddhav Thackeray ji and for
Sharad Pawar.
the way, and also how the government fell. So, do you think that was ethical?
That's the same. You see, therefore, what happened in Himachal, I forgot to add and connect, is nothing, it's not a new phenomenon. I have had the privilege of forgetting from the time of Jharkhand in the midnight hearing in Karnataka. Midnight hearing at
Yes.
Supreme Court. Karnataka 2,
Yes.
Madhya Pradesh, then Maharashtra, the 2-day Sarkar. Then the split in this, Uddhav Thackeray. Then, in fact, the split in NCP. These are all diverse manifestations of vitamin M.
Yeah.
These are diverse manifestations of the same phenomenon.
So, it's happening in every state.
Himachal is a very small thing for them.
Yes.
It's a small state anyway.
Yes.
If you can do it and have, because you're a control freak, you
Yeah.
must believe that you must have your will every way. Forget this, let me give you an example. Surat has never lost for a BJP for decades.
Yes.
There was no need to do it.
Yes.
Why did you do what you did in Surat? Or then in Indore? Also there's a case in my home state, Rajasthan. The reason is that you want to control things so much. To hell with it if election becomes a selection.
Yes.
No election, selection.
See, there's
You must
always...
proudly proclaim BJP as its first seat.
Yes.
By what? Do you think the man vanished?
Yes.
In Surat, there were 4 proposers and there were 8 arrival candidates. There are 12.
Wow.
So I joked on the press. I said, James Bond films, which I like to see sometimes. I said the first time is happenstance. The second time is coincidence. The third time is enemy action. Here there were 12 times. All 12 will suffer the same phenomenon together.
That's right.
Without vitamin M.
Right. No, not possible. Not possible, yeah. But it's very, I think, I travel a lot to Mumbai personally, and I've seen that most of my friends and most of the businessmen and corporates were not happy with the way the government felt. And a lot of, because they felt it was, it's not nothing again, it was unethical.
See, that is all your sermonizing.
Yes.
I can sermonize with you and I can agree. What's the point of that?
Yeah, but it doesn't
Your
mean
thought
anything.
process of the government appears to be a winner take all.
Yeah.
There are no prisoners.
Yes.
Success has many fathers, failure is an orphan.
Yes.
After you succeed, it doesn't matter all this sermonizing by Anjaleka and Abhishek Singhvi.
Yes, that's right.
Ultimately, who's the winner? That person sitting is the winner.
Yeah.
Who remembers? What is Gandhiji means and ends? What is ethics?
You also did the 2G case many years back, and which you won for the Marans. So why is it that every time they keep saying that the old government was corrupt, and why is that tagline when you've been won it?
You're asking the criminal law field. I appeared for one particular family, SR family members, who
Yes.
are individual accused.
Yes.
And I also appeared for the Marans.
Yes.
These were discharged. Individual letter with the threshold.
Yes.
Now only an appeal against that is pending. Even the appeal is not been, listed formally. It is just a leave to appeal pending.
Yes.
Because they've been discharged.
Yes.
What the government says is not something you have to put to rationality. They can say anything.
Yes.
They are recounting to you 1947, Veer Savarkar, Patel.
That's right.
So anything goes. It's kind of statements coming for the last 2 months.
Right.
There is not a single day in any newspaper without such statements coming. What is the point of going back to Veer Savarkar for discussing unemployment, inflation?
To do, yes.
Why do you say that today I read a statement that in 2 months after coming to power, Pakistan occupied Kashmir with part of India by Chief Minister, mind you.
Why
Now
would
I'll
you
be
say
the
that?
happiest. No, I'll be the very happiest Indian. Proud if that happens. But do you think it will happen in 2 months?
No.
Ever?
No.
If that is so for 10 years, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen in 2 months.
And what are your views?
This is all about a particular narrative being spun, thinking that you are fools.
Yeah. What are your views on Article 370? Now that you spoke.
See,
of,
370, I believe now, again I have a slightly different view.
Yes.
370, I believe now is a done deed.
Can't be.
Again, it's another ship like your EVM which has sailed. What you should talk about is why possibly trifurcation. What you should talk about is why not have statehood restored immediately.
Okay.
Immediately. Third thing you should talk about is why not have state elections immediately.
Yes.
370 is trying to play a battlefield of their choice. Again, emotive issues will arise. Again, Hindu-Muslim will arise. Against Indo-Pak will arise. Against the fake narratives of nationalism will arise.
Yes.
So why get into that?
Yeah.
That is over. But there are very live issues being discussed in Kashmir.
Yes.
Statehood,
Yes.
trifurcation and elections.
Yes. Very true. You have been in the Congress party for so many years, and as you've seen lately, most of the young Turks, as everyone calls, have changed sides, and also a lot of seasoned politicians who've been there for 30 years, who their heart and soul believes in the Congress even to date, have changed. It shows a lot about what a loyal person you are, despite of a successful person, to be there, and not only be there as a party or a Rajya Sabha member or any of the opposition, but also to be standing there and speaking for a party at it when everyone is trying to speak so negative.
First and foremost, let me give you a light-hearted,
Yes.
in-jest answer,
Yeah.
and then I'll give you the more direct
answer. Yes.
The completely in a lighter vein. People on channels publicly have started by saying, you are the right person in the wrong party.
And that answer, that dialogue for many people who left.
Right. Now, it doesn't faze me.
Yeah.
Number two,
You take it in from one year and take it out from the
No, I'm just saying this is kind of, it's not a new sentiment. Number two, I am not one of those who's uncritical of my own party.
Yeah,
at all.
I feel you.
There are so many issues on which I believe we could do better. I don't agree. But equally, I am more critical, much more critical of the rival party. And I never believe in saying never say never.
Yes.
But there is no compulsion, I believe, on me where my mindset changes so radically.
Yes.
Where I should answer that question at somebody's behest, that why don't you tomorrow join so and so.
Yeah.
So I think this is a process from within. I can tell you that I have, possibly off the record, received all kinds of comments, offers.
Yes, I'm sure.
Off the record, not only from the rival party, but so many different.
Yes.
I'm an independent kind of person.
Yes.
When I have to make a decision, if I have to make a decision ever,
Yes.
it'll be a rational decision. It won't be the cheap kind of to-do decision which you're seeing.
Yes, that's it. So you have now, you're very close to all the leaders in the party, and you're also very close to Rahul and Priyanka. How do you feel, or how do you analyze their different style of functioning? Both are very good in their own way.
Each person is different.
Yes.
And each person should be different.
Yes, they should.
And each person, effectiveness changes.
Yes.
You see, I can only speak from my perspective.
Yes.
Take Kharge.
Yes.
People don't realize because he's not been known much in North India.
Yes.
Look at his experience. Can you imagine?
Yes.
A man who has fought every damn election from bottom,
Yes.
saved and apart being chief minister 9 times, kind of level, kind of cruelty he saw his family, his mother and siblings murdered, and worked his way up. So his experience for 9 times, and of course being leader of both houses,
Yes.
and all this, party. So that he brings a different kind of reality
Yes.
into his experiential utterances.
Yes.
Take Rahul Gandhi.
Yes.
You tried for 10 years to make this thing about pulling his leg all the time, pulling his image. Have you seen the persistence, the perseverance? Is it easy to have?
Unbelievable.
It's easy to say.
Yes.
Forget the physical part. Physical, of course, is impossible. I always joke with him that you will have a series of skilled soldiers along with you if you do this too much.
Yes.
I always tell.
Yes. Yeah.
But the mental persistence and perseverance to stand up. And I've done 2 parts of the yatra with him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
you
2
went for
parts.
them. Okay.
You may not vote, but there is a huge amount of outpouring of genuine, heartfelt love.
And respect.
Twice.
Yes.
I've felt that. I'm telling you what I felt. I'm not talking about him. Priyanka Gandhi. I'm one of those who has very frequently said she must enter more active politics. And in fact, I can share with you, I went to the extent of saying she should declare herself as a possible CM of UP on the last time when she went into it. I don't mind if she doesn't like my saying so, but I've told her many times. Because I think she has a remarkable amount of courage.
Yes.
She has a remarkable understanding of human psychology.
Yes.
She has a very focused, penetrative analysis.
Yeah.
But equally, I respect her hesitation because of a number of things, family or otherwise. She doesn't want to go in. She believes that, she doesn't want to divide the attention, whatever it is. But point is that these are all individuals with a lot of commitment. Look at the way they are now running around all over the place.
Yes.
Yesterday I talked to her, I said that the first day your Raebareli thing is ended. And then I added, before you start having a sigh of relief, you'll be positioned somewhere else.
Yes.
She's tossed away somewhere else to campaign.
Yes.
So these are people with commitment. They are not people who are just, in the air. And they're talking of real issues. And I think each one of them has unique USPs, which are not fully realized by the people, because the narrative, this government is there, Modi media is there. So the narrative is completely changed. You have to interact with them to realize that.
Yes, that's true. Of course, you, as you said, you went to the Bharat Jodo Yatra twice.
In the first yatra.
In the first yatra, I think the whole image, the whole country's image of Rahul has completely changed, and so has, I think, all the political parties and the allies. The respect.
Not only the image.
He's earned his.
Certainly, the image was, of course, a lot of it was created by the Modi media, deliberately sniping, cheap comments, below the belt hittings, etc. I'm not going to get into that.
Yes.
But, you see, one is I've told you already, his perseverance, his
Yes.
persistence.
Yeah.
I've told you his mental endurance.
Sure.
I've told you his physical endurance. But also, which leader in India from any party has spoken out so fearlessly, consistently, repetitively about government policies or ruling party errors
Nobody.
fearlessly,
Yes, fearlessly.
without fear of consequences?
Yes.
You may agree with him or disagree with him.
Yes.
And then,
And he's
kind
been
of lampoon him every
consistent at
time.
it, yes.
Consistent.
Yes.
So therefore, these are very important, and perception
Yes.
rightly has changed.
Yes.
So if he goes for 2 days after grueling tour, oh, he's a part-time politician. अरे भाई, ये part-time politician होता है.
Yeah, and you
What kind
try
of definition? What kind of definition is this?
Yes.
So it's all right.
Yeah. So you also you've also been you were given the responsibility of fighting Rahul's case, the one where they very what do you say? Which word adjective I'm thinking what to say?
No, that was
Mercilessly,
clearly
was yes. I spoke to a lot of people in your contemporaries, your colleagues, and they all felt it was a wrong decision. And I'm sure I want to know your personal.
Wrong. See, let me tell you very quickly because time is short. I mean, the matter is technically still pending, but I believe, on the basis of professional, that there is nothing in the case which has never been filed. I don't want to get into details. You find one Modi surname person living in Gujarat, filing a defamation in Gujarat for a speech in Karnataka. The idea is to fix you.
Yeah.
Why fix you? If you give a punishment of 1 year, 11 months, 29 days, nothing happens. If you give 2 years, 1 day more, then for 8 years, 6 years afterwards, and for these 2 years, 8 years are disqualified. So the idea was to render Rahul Gandhi out of electoral politics for 8 years.
So that means are they threatened by you?
Of course, that's it. I told him, I said, it's the best compliment
Yeah.
you could get.
Yeah.
This kind of a case, number one. Number two, I am sorry to say that our courts below need another vitamin, G. Vitamin M, I've told vitamin G is guts. You never expect the judgments from the first trial court or the second trial court. Why not?
And that
Why should it be that all of us look and travel up the ladder to the Supreme Court
Yes.
in all bail cases, in all PMLA cases?
Yes.
We know that we have to go to the formality, the formalism,
Yeah, the process.
the process.
Yes.
Why? These were very robust courts earlier.
Yeah.
Why should we not? So we lost twice in the High Court. Unfortunately, a matter was reserved for 2 months without judgment. Anyway, all is well that ends well. A learned judge just went into the practical aspect of it in the Supreme Court and decided in about 1 hour.
But it must be must be very stressful for all of them as well as for you.
question.
That's what it's.
I'll share with you what I've said in other channels much after the event.
Well,
Some days, 2 or 3 days before the matter was finally being heard, we were talking, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and I. So I told him, I said, look, I am a Peshewar Vakil, so I don't carry that burden on my head because I have doing so many cases every day
yes.
and I don't necessarily have the same. But unfortunately, your case, I told him, is making a huge burden on my head.
Yeah.
Mainly because a lot of people out there are waiting for you to fail and waiting for me to fail.
Yeah.
And it's always possible for results to go this way or that way.
Yes. Yes.
So Rahul Gandhi said very interesting. He said, look, let's talk about this. I have complete faith in you. You go and do what you do always in court. Don't even think about the result. Now, this is the kind of conversation that gives you a lot of strength because normally, one is doing stressful cases, but when there's a person involved whom you know and when you are having such a political weight on it, then you feel. And the whole problem in this system in both litigation and in politics is that people out there only pulling your leg.
Yes.
They're waiting for you to fail.
Fail. Yes. It's
So, therefore, it had its moments of very severe stress.
stress. But there must have been.
But this is a very, very good statement for him to say at that time.
Yes.
Which gave me equally a lot of strength amidst stress.
But initially, he must have. I'm sure it was a shock to everybody. So initially, I'm sure he must have been very disturbed and stressed. And later, you reconcile and try and put yourself together.
Think actually, whenever I've interacted with him personally, that strangely he was probably less stressed than I was.
Yes, because it was a very big
It went 8 years of his electoral life.
Yeah.
8 years, you are effectively not in politics. So, in his entire 50, still he becomes 60, he can't be in electoral politics. That's ridiculous for a statement which is supposed to be defamatory.
Yes. And Sonia ji is supposed to be a very, she speaks to all her colleagues, but also she trust is a very big thing, and she trusted you blindly.
Sonia Gandhi has another quality,
Yes.
is apart from all the other, which I've not discussed for the others.
Good, I want something new and not
a sense of calmness.
Okay.
She brings a sense of placidity and calmness in the tip. And she doesn't speak much, she listens much more.
Well,
And then ultimately, she brings a sense of balance. There are sometimes some hot-headed views, extreme views. So I think that's also very important. She is of course not in active politics anymore because of various reasons.
Yes.
But she's always a very sobering, balancing, calm voice.
yes.
Be it coming on virtually, coming on otherwise. So I think these are all
factors, yes. But she really trusted you to give Rahul.
Oh yes, without
you.
trust this can't happen.
Yeah,
not only her trust,
Belief
Rahul's
and
trust,
yes. Priyanka's trust, yes.
no question of, even the other senior leaders, there's no question of doing this thing without trust.
The biggest thing is
As
trust,
it is,
because would you put your child's hand, his career, his everything in, it's...
The stress on me was because of the trust.
Yes, that's
there
what.
won't be the
Yes,
trust.
yes. So that's what, there were a lot of allegations in between, as you heard, that why did he delay those 200
Exactly.
pages thing. I remember hearing that in some channel.
No, I said I'm not here to reply.
Yeah, all
Free
these.
legal advice
Yes,
every night from the channels.
yes, I heard that.
There
Yes,
were all kinds of WhatsApp, YouTube, and television advice.
yes,
There were lawyers on every media channel giving free advice.
yes,
Now, ultimately you have to walk the lonely furrow path.
yes,
And we did the right thing, I think, because you then have the equal same people say, I told you so, why did you go to the Supreme Court straight away? So it's like the Panchtantra tale,
yes,
father and the son and the donkey.
yes. No, it's true, but it's remarkable that you handled it so beautifully. The case, the result was in our favor, everyone's favor, and at least you have someone who's there to fight for the cause of India and fight as an opposition leader to in this election, because had you lost this case, or had he lost this case, there was a huge thing for the political landscape of India, whether everybody says that about they want a Gandhi or they don't want, or they believe in the party or who should lead is a different thing. There would have been no voice, and the people of India need to realize that there would have been nobody there to walk another yatra for them,
We're very wrongful
or
exclusion.
to speak for them. And I think that was a price he paid for speaking the truth and opposing. And I think, but also in another way, it's got him a lot of sympathy and respect from the other leaders, because what they did to him in 24 hours, you tell somebody to leave your home, you tell somebody to, this is the sentence, and
Huge amount of.
and no matter what it is, it hurts, because it's a shock, because it's such a severe sentence. It's not a sentence that
It's also very petty, I think. What's happening in these kind of public life discourse we have not seen.
Yes.
But anyway, this is part of the game.
This is the part of the game. Now I'll ask you a few personal questions. One is, you've been married for many, many years, and I know your wife personally, and she's a beautiful artist, and she has shows for her music. So have you also ever been a part of her shows, or do you enjoy music as well?
I always joke that I'm very fond of music, by the way.
Yes, I know.
And more of the old Bollywood genre, but also Sufi.
Yes.
But since I tried and failed in the piano, since I tried and failed in the earlier attempts in my childhood, I decided to the next best clever lawyerly thing. I married a singer.
Okay.
So that's one.
Yeah.
Two, I always say in a lighter vein that you hear the good music, I face the music at home.
Yes.
And three, I think she is very talented and has done about 200 concerts.
Yes.
300 concerts.
Yes, I've been
all over. But she has one failing. She is not in the marketing and packaging at all. She is just in it for the love of the genre itself.
Yeah.
So she's now learned Urdu, both script and speaking, also Farsi.
Yeah.
But projection is important, where I disagree with her.
Yeah.
And somehow the other, she just doesn't want to take that part. So that's the reason why perhaps she has not made as much progress in the public eye as she should have.
Yes, that I know. And she's really good at her music, and I also felt that she could have done much more to have promoted it,
That's.
And your sons, are they working with you?
I have two sons.
Yes.
One is a resident abroad for over 15 years now, 14 years. He was a qualified lawyer, but he does now technological consultancy in startups.
Right. Okay.
What is important is that I have now 3 grandchildren from him. one elder granddaughter, and then twin grandchildren. Very, very
He's done a
recently.
startup. He's doing a consultancy.
He's a consultant and for such things. He's a qualified lawyer, but he doesn't practice.
Okay.
The younger one is a lawyer who is settled in India. He was never with me, but he started his career for a while with Shyam Diwan, with others.
Okay.
And now he's on his own for many years.
Zone.
And he lives in Delhi, and he is married, and I have a grandchild from here as well.
Okay.
So that's the whole family. So, you can see that I'm getting older.
Yes. No, I think you're still, we need you. We need you to be there. We need to see you in all the channels and speak for India. So that's why. Another question which I really wanted to ask you is, you have so much experience in this field. You've been one of the most renowned lawyers, and God knows how many more prestigious cases are yet to come. Your sons are also in the similar industry. How would you advise the youth today if they want to choose a career as law? Which specific area do you advise that would be more growth than versus less, as with your experience?
See, I don't want to sound didactic or sermonizing, but let me tell you an interesting contrast. When we started decades ago, law was the refuge of last resort. You would go and try your hand in X and fail there. You would try the civil services exam, not succeed. You would do other things and then come to law. Refuge of last resort. It is now the option of first choice. That's a great boost for the profession.
Yes.
Second, you had somebody in your family or your ancestors close by doing law in those days for you to go into law. Today, you have the children of architects, of doctors, of engineers, of industrialists doing and wanting to do law and be lawyers.
Yes.
What another great second boost. It's a change, complete change.
Yes.
Third, women were few and far between.
In law.
They were kind of starting, numbers were smaller, and presence in terms of importance was negligible.
Yes.
Today, except at the very, very top, it takes time to get there.
Yes.
Women are doing exceedingly well at every level, just below the top and every other level. Again, a third factor. So all this tells you that the youth of today have a new avenue to look up. Number two, don't think too much. Just do what your heart tells you, what you like. Law is a generic term. Litigation is one form of it. Chamber practice is another form of it. Corporate advisory is a third form. In-house lawyering is now far, far more respectable. The top companies in India have in-house lawyer teams which are larger than solicitor firms in England. Working with the solicitor firm is a fifth model. These have to depend on individual choice. Each is equally good, provided you follow the one mantra of law, which is not so much competence, not so much sincerity, both of which are important. Hard work.
Hard work, yes.
There is always a substitute for hard work, but not for
hard work. Yes, that's true.
So that is something which is the best advice to be given, but they must be happy that today they have something which their forefathers did not. I did not have that kind of options they have. And today also, one last thing, they have options of subjects we never heard of: space law, sports law, entertainment law.
Yes.
So, look at the options.
That's it. A lot of people, in the earlier years, there was no such thing as startup funding. There have been a lot of startup fundings with the present government, but a lot of the startups have also failed. So I would like to ask you, how do you advise the youth to, when they want startup funding, should they have a long-term goal? Should they just have a short-term goal? Should they think of law as a business, not only as a legal professional practice? And should they take startup funding to create legal firms?
See, there's a different questions you're asking. One is startups generally.
Yes.
We're not talking of law startups.
Yes.
Law startup is a different subject altogether. Startups generally, the Honorable Prime Minister never fails to tell us in thousands of new numbers in startups now. And I entirely agree with him.
How many say?
No, but how many have started? You see, the numbers today which have started and succeeded without failure is far more than last year. And the last year was far more than the previous year. So point number one good for people who want to do startups is that both the numbers of startups and their success rate is much more. Number two, a startup is like a shooting star.
Yes.
It has to hit the jackpot, otherwise, the mortality rate has to be 1 in 1,000, 1 in a... That's something, that's the meaning, that's the definition of a startup.
Right.
So the man who starts has to have faith in himself. He has to have that commitment for at least 5 years. And today the numbers, I'm forgetting the latest figures, are so much higher that I think they have a great ecosystem. Number 3, all government policies, not this government, are now pro-startups. You are getting subsidies, you are getting moratoriums of tax, you are getting, I was chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Commerce, and we have written reports on startups, giving all these. So it's a good time, it's a good ecosystem. So you have to be brave and you have to be lucky.
Yes. But you do feel startups could also start think of a concept in the legal.
Now legal is something very interesting. There are far fewer there.
Yes.
And that is the way to go to the future.
Yes.
But they have to be much more calibrated.
Yes.
They have to be much more focused.
Yes.
See, lawyers are a very proud profession. They're also very, incestuous profession.
Yes.
They will not take easily to something which is, just. Let me give you an example. You have to only apply one test for it to be successful in law now. I'm not talking about a startup.
Yes, anything else, yeah.
Utility. If you can convince the litigator of utility, then you're a sure success, you hit jackpot. I'll give you a personal example. I am gizmo crazy, not so much gizmo savvy. I love gizmos. I keep getting new ones. I love to play around with them. There are guys who give me the first thing in the market in the first day because they never like it. But I'm not gizmo savvy. I get my juniors and my youngsters to help me.
Yeah.
Now, liquid text is something which partly because the Chief Justice of India who encouraged us all, I am doing every case for the last 2 years on liquid text.
Okay.
Liquid text is entirely in an iPad. And good, bad and indifferent, I find its functionality good enough for me. So I must have done thousands of cases now. For 2 years, I have not opened a new hard set file. Why?
Why?
Because I don't have the time to, do an academic study of liquid text. I as a litigator, and I'm one of the old horses, you can teach an old horse new tricks. Then you can teach the new horse much better tricks.
Yes.
So I found it utilitarian. I found it's a great thing to carry around with you. I carry 1,000 files in one iPad. On the plane, I can prepare for the next day's cases.
Yes.
So it was because somebody with a legal bent of mind made it useful.
Yes.
Useful means features. You touch a point, you know how the lawyer has to get to the page immediately.
Yes.
So he tells you how to do it quickly.
Yes.
That kind of startup is the one I would encourage.
Yes, that's
I
what I
think
want
people should not go into startups in law unless they have a very good legal team advising them what the litigator needs, what the corporate guy needs.
Yes. So that's what I wanted to ask you for the youth. And of course, now I'm going to come with a fun round, which is a rapid fire round. A lot about you and what you like. So when you have to go for a holiday, would you prefer London or New York?
Neither. I follow a principle of new place every time because I believe life is short.
Okay.
And I've insisted for the last 30 years I go to a new place every time.
Okay. Vodka or whiskey?
Teetotaler.
Okay.
But a 6-month breach, typical teetotaler's breach of Cointreau or Bailey's Irish, which I have once every 3 to 4 to 6 months.
Okay. Wine or champagne?
Teetotaler.
Again.
Once. If I have to have, I have red wine.
Okay. Okay. So butter chicken or Australian lamb?
Vegetarian, strictly.
Okay. So strictly. I guess then you don't smoke as well.
Non-smoker.
There you go. I figured it out.
No minor vices.
Okay. So that's like, that's why you're so disciplined. And that's why probably because you have to be up so early to go to court on time and come and read so much. Okay. Then the next one is Indian holidays or Western holidays? Both.
Regrettably more Western.
Yeah.
I've been trying to turn the family back inwards to Indian ones.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll succeed now.
No, why? The Western holidays are nice.
We've done a lot of Western. Last 30 years, I've not missed a long holiday in June.
Okay.
Out God's grace and touchwood. And now for the last 2 or 3 years, I take 3 or 4 short holidays in Diwali, in Dussehra, and in December.
If you had to invest...
But always to a new place.
If you had to invest, you'd invest in the stock market or real estate?
Both.
Okay. Bitcoins or gold?
Not the first ever.
Okay. Gold, probably.
Gold, only with my wife's advice. I don't get into it. She's...
Okay. You like, in your interiors of your home, you like dark colors or soft palette?
Generally I like bright colors, shocking colors even. You can see this.
Okay.
But interiors I like dignified colors.
Dignified. Classic or modern?
Classic.
Okay. Cigar or if you were a smoker, then would you like cigar or a cigarette?
Non-smoker, but pipe.
Pipe.
I am fascinated by the pipe, which I never smoke.
Okay. Any brand which is your favorite for watches?
Audemars Piguet or Breguet.
Okay. Which, if you had to go for a really formal evening, which brand suit would you wear? Which brand? Armani, Brioni?
I'm forgetting the name. I have a name. Well, mostly because they are wrinkle-free. Canali.
Canali. Okay. Where would you like to buy? Which brand do you like your jeans to be?
Levi's, definitely.
Still.
Occasional Wrangler, but Levi's.
There's so many new ones now.
No, absolutely no.
No. Okay. And your favorite brand for ties?
Oh, as I said, for all clothes, I like brightest possible colors.
Okay.
I love
So now we know
bright
what to
ones,
gift you.
DuPont's, which is a bit shocking.
Okay.
And Brioni, of course, very good.
Okay.
And of the usual ones, Salvatore, no. But I have stopped buying ties for a while because I've got too many of them. I classify them as per color and you don't get to wear them.
Okay. And if you had to invest your money, where would you invest it today?
Distribute the investment.
Okay, a portfolio, not pour all eggs in one basket.
So I have a fair amount of equity, but a fair amount of debt as well.
Okay.
And real estate, much lesser, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then, paintings and
Yes.
art and things like that. So
Yes.
much lesser. Main thing is always in movable instruments like equity, debt, AIF, things like that.
Okay, that's good. So thank you so much for coming on my show. And I really appreciate the time you've given and the insights and all the things you've spoken about, with all your experience, your political judgments, your opinions. And I look forward to seeing you again soon, but next time with your wife and family.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to give you a small gift from my interior online portal called Angie Homes.
Thank you.
There's
so
something
much.
really small.
Very kind of you. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
It's just a token. I hope you like it.
Thank you so much.
So that was my show with Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the legal eagle, and of course the man with many talents. This show also tells you, for the youth, how you should invest, where you should focus with your future if you do want to have a career in the legal side. You want to be a lawyer, you want to be a litigator, a solicitor, whatever your dreams are. This is where the future holds, which way you could shape your future in this segment. He also spoke about some of his most prestigious cases, what he felt about the law, the current situation in the country and the constitution. I hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you on the next show. Thank you.